Your performance is shameful. Okay?
That's not
Thank God you are not on the Supreme Court. You should resign in disgrace, Judge.
They should have the decency to remove themselves from the community. If they refuse to do that, then measures have to be taken.
To the transgender community, I am more than willing to give you an audience. You will not summon me. I am not bending to anybody's command.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. What's going on, Habibis? I'm Siraj Hashmi. Where the fuck's Jay? Jay? Where the fuck you at? He's visiting his uncles in Lebanon right now, so we're just gonna do a solo show. How you doing, Habibis? This is Hashmi Anything. I don't even know what the fuck I'm doing right now. This is, you got some elevator music, keeping it nice, keeping it fresh. We're drinking a little Angel's Envy up in here. I got Spencer Sachs producing the show. Say hi to Spencer.
What's up, guys? How we doing? And
all right.
To all those who are going to ask, my roommate's bed is made, so I'm making that very clear from the offset.
Let's go. Spencer will check in periodically and see how things are going. And honestly, to keep up with how awkward this show is going to be, because I haven't done a solo live stream for 2 days, is going to be wild. Obviously, because there's a lot happening in the news this week, and of course, I am a boomer, and I forgot to preload my rundown. So let's let that load here real quick. In the meantime, of course, if you want to follow all of our channels, all 69 of them, you can follow us on Twitter at Habibi_Bros. You can find me on Twitter at Siraj Hashmi. You can find Spencer at Spencer_Sachs. You can also follow our Instagram at Habibis, or is it Habibi? Yeah, Habibi. At Habibi_Bros. Jeez, I'm such a boomer, I can't remember the name of our Instagram. Of course, hit the like and subscribe button. Leave a comment if you want to. And as always, we have our Patreon, patreon.com/Habibi Bros. And then all the links for whatever the shows. And last but certainly not least, we are on Rumble. And I don't know why I keep forgetting this, because I'm absolutely terrible when it comes to remembering shit. But we're on Rumble, like not exclusively, but like almost exclusively. Like, hit that shit up. And that is, you can look us up on Habibi Power Hour. So it's rumble.com/Habibi Power Hour. And of course, this is something that Spencer didn't know until this week, and that is we actually put all these episodes out on podcast apps afterwards. So if you don't want to watch, you can always listen. All right, so let's get into the news this week. So Dr. Anthony Fauci, he seems to be taking a lot of heat, and I actually want to cue a clip here. I think Spencer has it on hand. Spencer, you want to hit that?
Dr. Fauci, as you are aware, it is a crime to lie to Congress. Section 1001 of the U.S. Criminal Code creates a felony and a 5-year penalty for lying to Congress. This research matches, these are Dr. Ebright's words, this research matches, indeed epitomizes, the definition of gain-of-function research done entirely in Wuhan, for which there was supposed to be a federal pause. Dr. Fauci, knowing that it is a crime to lie to Congress, do you wish to retract your statement of May 11th where you claimed that the NIH never funded gain-of-function research in Wuhan?
Your microphone.
Senator Paul, I have never lied before the Congress, and I do not retract that statement. This paper that you are referring to was judged by qualified staff up and down the chain as not being gain of function.
So
let me finish.
You take an animal virus.
Oh, let me finish.
Transmissibility to humans.
Right.
You're saying that's not gain of function?
Yeah, that is correct. And Senator Paul, you do not know what you are talking about, quite frankly. And I want to say that officially. You do not know what you are talking about.
how you can say that is
You
not
do not know what
It
you're
is not.
talking
It's
about.
a dance, and you're dancing around this because you're trying to obscure responsibility for 4 million people dying around the world
Okay.
from a pandemic.
If the point that you are making is that the grant that was funded as a sub-award from EcoHealth to Wuhan created SARS-CoV-2, that's where you are getting. Let me finish.
We don't know.
Well,
we don't
wait
know
a
if
minute.
it did
I
come
can-
from the lab, but all
You-
the evidence is pointing that it came from the lab,
You-
and there will be responsibility for those who funded the lab, including yourself.
I totally
This committee
resent.
will allow the witness to
I
respond.
totally resent the lie that you are now propagating, Senator. Those viruses are molecularly impossible
No one's
to
saying
result
they are. No
in
one's saying those viruses are
SARS-CoV-2.
pandemic.
Senator Paul,
We're saying they are gain-of-function viruses because they were
they're not.
animal viruses that became more transmissible in human, and you funded it.
And
won't
you
admit the truth.
and you
Senator
implying
Paul, your time has expired, and I will allow witnesses who come before this committee to respond.
you are
All right,
implying
Spencer. Oh, hold on.
that what we did was responsible for the deaths of individual. I totally resent
could
that.
have
And
been.
if
That it
anybody
could
is
have been.
lying here, Senator,
fucking
it is
Fauci.
you.
Oh my god. That fucking was so. Oh, I'm blurry again. There we go. Abex Stein says we gotta watch to fully experience the boomer moments. There you go. There's those boomer moments.
I love how on that clip though. I love how on the clip he's like, "You, sir, you're the liar," and it's like, bruh, we all know you're the one lying here, and like it came out later, he's the one lying. So it's like,
Yeah.
okay,
So
chief, whatever.
if you've been living under a rock this past week or month or well, actually, I'd say this happened within the last week, that even Vanity Fair has reported that the National Institute of Health has, in a major shift, admitted that they funded the risky virus research in Wuhan. And I'm not going to read the full article for you, but on this past Wednesday, the NIH sent a letter to members of the House Committee on Energy and Commerce that acknowledged two facts. The first one was that EcoHealth Alliance, a New York City-based nonprofit that partners with far-flung laboratories to research and prevent the outbreak of emerging diseases, did indeed enhance a bat coronavirus to become potentially more infectious to humans, which the NIH letter described as an quote-unquote unexpected result of the research it funded that was carried out in partnership with the Wuhan Institute of Virology. And the second part of that second fact, is that EcoHealth Alliance violated the terms of its grant conditions, stipulating that it had to report if its research increased the viral growth of a pathogen by 10-fold. So what do we make of that, Habibis? I'll tell you what. For one, I think we need to start abandoning this whole idea about gain of function, because gain of function sounds like something that's actually good. It's positive for society. That's not what testing these virulent strains and basically enhancing them, enhancing pathogens is doing. We're fucking weaponizing them. That's what's happening now. We're weaponizing, well, not we, but the powers that be, the NIH, EcoHealth Alliance, Wuhan Institute of Virology, they're all weaponizing these viruses. There's no bones about it. And I think we need to retire the term gain of function, because that seems to get us in a position where, most people don't even know what the fuck gain of function means. Why would you even care what gain of function is if you think it's going to help society? Have we seen any real benefit to some of these viruses actually being tested and enhanced? For a second, I thought, Spencer, I was like, I swear to God, if you just booted me from the fucking stream. I thought it was a boomer thing. But anyways, Spencer pulls up the gain of function definition. According to Google, it refers to the serial passaging of microorganisms to increase their transmissibility, virulence, immunogenicity, and host tropism by applying selective pressure to a culture. So obviously, that's not a good thing. That's like putting them through training camp, like they're an ISIS sleeper cell, and basically releasing them into the United States, just waiting for them to be activated. They're basically training a bunch of Muslim terrorists, is what I'm saying. Okay, that's my culture is not your goddamn prom dress, Dr. Fauci. Okay, I'm sick of it. I'm sick of my culture constantly being used to harm a bunch of people around the world. But what are you gonna do? What are you going to do? It is too bad. Too bad. Okay, anyway, sir, we're going to oh no, Fauci, he kills the dogs. There is another story here. Fauci is apparently and again, I don't know the legitimacy of this, but apparently it's been reported by the White Coat Waste Project. I think everything's a project nowadays. Yeah, it's a project. They basically alleged that Dr. Anthony Fauci, maybe not himself, but at least the National Institute of Allergy and Infectious Diseases, who Fauci is the director of, they were testing on animals and infected dozens of beagles with disease-causing parasites to test an experimental drug on them. Now, House Republicans, most of whom are Republicans, want Fauci to explain himself in response to allegations brought on by the White Coat Waste Project that involve drugging puppies. According to the White Coat Waste Project, the Food and Drug Administration does not require drugs to be tested on dogs, so the group is asking why the need for such testing. Now, the White Coat Waste Project claims that 44 beagle puppies were used in Tunisia, in a Tunisia laboratory, and some of the dogs had their vocal cords removed, allegedly, so scientists could work without incessant barking. This is reported by The Hill. Now, I have no idea if this is actually legit. Spencer, hop in here. What have you heard about this?
So I've heard the same thing you have. I mean, this has been widely reported, like from this one piece, from what I've seen. Like the New York Post has it, which they have everything. If you ever read the New York Post, it's a joke newspaper. I'll probably get sued for that, but like it's great with sports and business, but with everything else, it's like meh. And so I've only seen it from there. I was just Googling it. Washington Post is an article saying, like an opinion piece saying, why is Fauci using my puppy for experiments type of thing? So like I haven't seen anything crazy about this outside of from that one article that that's sourced from. But I've seen legislators ask, like sign a letter saying, Fauci, what the heck is this? What are we doing here? And if we're doing this, we need to shut this down. Like where we need answers now. We can't wait. So
yeah, apparently the agency responded. The NIAID responded to this saying that Fauci, let's see, the agency clarified that the unsettling image of beagle puppies, Faye says, I love how Siraj shows up so unprepared his own show. He makes the teen intern carry the show.
Fatality.
Oh my God. Man. I mean, I can't come back from that. That's why a lot of this is just like me riffing here. I call it Hashmi Anything. Some people just literally ask me anything, but I do have a show plan. I mean, I'm basically. What do you want me to say, Faye? I want to do the show, and you're giving me shit. This is too bad. This is Islam.
To answer Josh's question, yes, this is a worst beard contest. But like on top of this, like this is just a wild story. I mean, like this is just adding on to the snowball that is falling on
weird
Fauci's
because head. It's weird because I feel like it's come out of nowhere, and there's so many things you can hit Fauci on, especially when it comes to everything with Wuhan Institute of Virology and Eco Health Alliance and everything. It's like they almost created this story out of thin air to try to distract from Wuhan. Is that I feel like I'm gonna put on the tinfoil hat. I don't have any tin around here. But
you got any masks around? Just throw a mask hat on. It's about the same thing.
I think I have mine. Hold on.
But like in all seriousness, no, like this is still absurd on its head. Like that also people like the Fauci defenders, like we had the Cuomo simps, we had the Fauci defenders, and it's all just going downhill. Like I find this so funny to look back on those videos we have, and it's just pain after pain after pain of just stupidity.
I have my my kafaya and I have my kufi. So, sir, it is like this. They come up with this story about dogs. They say, Dr. Fauci, you are basically raping them in the face. What are you doing? Oh, but this is so bad. You're killing puppies. But it distracts. But he, Fauci's like, oh, I don't kill puppies, but he's over here killing people around the world. Essentially 100%. All right, there you go. There's my. Every time I break into conspiracy theory mode, that is tinfoil hat. I honestly think there's going to be
conspiracy theory now. That's crazy that it's a conspiracy theory. Like
which part?
Just the fact that here we are, like that Rand Paul was considered a conspiracy theorist since the beginning of this, right? That right-wing sources who've been saying this has been coming, like there's something shady going on here, and then everyone's like conspiracy theory. Yarr,
well,
go.
Yeah. Well, here ever since we had tried to track down. Get the fuck out of here, Spencer. I'm sick of you. Get out of here. Now we got the boomer cam going again. Ever since we had this gain of function discussion, or we at least tried to find the origins of COVID-19, it has just been tied hand in hand with conspiracy theory, the conspiracy theory label, simply because Master Thief. He's not the difference between conspiracy theory and truth is about 3 months. It used to be 6 months, now it's 3 months, simply because the truth is getting reported out sooner and sooner. I think what's interesting though is that everybody thinks it's a conspiracy theory because Orange Man said it beforehand. Trump said it beforehand, and therefore we got to think of it as a conspiracy theory. And there's really no place for nuanced discussion simply because Trump shit posts online, he sends out mean tweets, but he was doing a fairly decent job in some way, shape, or form, despite having no political experience as president. But man, everything with respect to this whole COVID-19 investigation, it's like the left never wants to admit that there are nefarious forces at play, and that the Chinese Communist Party truly is evil. I think if they admit that, that'd be admitting basically that their whole ideology is shit. It's garbage. I don't know. So anyways, yeah, that is kind of how things are shaken up with Fauci. Look, if you're wondering if Fauci's going to like face any consequences for this, you got to keep holding your breath. There's nothing that's going to happen with him. However, there is another member of Biden's administration who took quite a beating today in the Senate. And I actually think we have a clip of that, Spencer. Where's that Merrick Garland clip? Oh, God, this boomer over here. I could play the shorter clip. Here we go. Here's the shorter clip.
This is shameful. This testimony, your directive, your performance is shameful.
Okay. That's not.
Thank God you are not on the Supreme Court. You should resign in disgrace, Judge.
That's Tom Cotton with Attorney General Merrick Garland. And I don't know if Spencer had the full link. He said he was trying to find it. But if you're wondering what that whole thing is about, so the Department of Justice has been designating, they initially, with the National School Boards Administration, or is it association? I don't know if I can remember anymore. They're labeling angry parents at these school board meetings as domestic terrorists. That's essentially what they were trying to do. They were trying to say, oh, well, shit, I said essentially 100%. They're trying to label them as domestic terrorists, which, Habibis, if you know what domestic terrorist is, these are not it, okay? Spencer has the full exchange. You want to play a little bit of the exchange, Spencer? Let's watch. Let's watch him react to it. Maybe you could play it with the sound on, you boomer. I can't hear anything. I think you have to like share it with sound on. Yeah, like check a box or something. It's in like the bottom left-hand corner when the prompt comes up. See, when you have a boomer telling you how to do tech, you know you're fucking up. Thanks a lot, Spencer. Jesus.
Judge Garland, on May 11th, Tony Fauci testified, agents, quote, does not now fund gain-of-function research in the Wuhan Institute of Virology. Last week, his agency admitted that they had, in fact, funded gain-of-research in the Wuhan Institute of Virology. Were you investigating Tony Fauci for lying to Congress?
So the long-time rule in the Justice Department not to discuss pending investigations, potential investigations.
Okay, that's fine. That's fine. Do you believe Tony Fauci was truthful when he said his agency had never funded gain-of-function research?
This is outside of my scope of knowledge.
Let's turn to your outrageous directive sicking the feds on parents at school boards across America. When you crafted that October 4th memo, did you consult with senior leadership at the FBI?
My understanding was that the memo or the idea of the memo had been discussed with the FBI before it got.
Did anyone at the FBI express any doubt or disagreement or hesitation with your decision to issue that memo?
No one expressed that to me.
No one?
To me. No one expressed that to me, no.
Oh, that's bullshit.
Because a lot of them have contacted us and they said they did, Judge.
I'm sorry?
Bullshit.
FBI officials have contacted my office and said that they oppose this decision.
Well, I doubt any of them spoke to me about it because I didn't speak to one.
All right. Judge, you've repeatedly dissembled this morning about that directive. For instance, about the National Security Division. Chuck Grassley asked you a very simple question, why you would sick the National Security Division of the Department of Justice on parents. John Cornyn asked you the same thing. You said it wasn't in your October 4th memorandum, it was in another office's memorandum. It was another office's memorandum, Judge. It was in a press release from your office right here in front of me, October 4th, 2021, for immediate release. You're going to create a task force that includes the National Security Division. What on earth does the National Security Division have to do with parents who are expressing disagreements at school boards?
Nothing in this memorandum or any memorandum is about parents expressing disagreements with their school boards. The memorandum makes clear that parents are entitled and protected by the First Amendment to vigorous debates. We don't, the Justice Department is not interested in that question at all. It is
Okay, so even in that case, what is the National Security Division, Judge? These are the people that are supposed to be chasing jihadists and Chinese spies. What does the National Security Division have to do with parents at school boards?
This is not, again, about parents at school boards. This is about threats of violence.
Okay, let me turn to that because you've said that phrase repeatedly throughout the morning. Threats or violence and threats of violence. Violence and threats of violence. Yeah. We've heard it a dozen times this morning. As Senator Lee pointed out, the very first line in your October 4th memorandum refers to harassment and intimidation. Why do you continue to dissemble in front of this committee that you are only talking about violence and threats of violence when your memo says harassment and intimidation?
And I said in my testimony that it involved other kinds of criminal conduct, and I explained to Senator Lee that the statutory definitions of those terms and the constitutional definitions of those terms involve threats of violence.
Okay, let's look at one of those statutes you cited.
Yeah.
Section 223.
Yeah.
That statute covers the use of not just telephones, but telecommunications devices to annoy someone. So are you sick, your U.S. attorneys and the FBI on a parents group, if they post on Facebook something that annoys a school board member,
Well,
Judge?
the answer to that is no.
That's
and
a threat.
was
Facebook
particularly
posts are violence, everyone.
2261A, which was to engage in.
I wasn't talking about 2261A. I know you mentioned that. You also mentioned 223. That's what I mentioned.
But the
Okay,
only
Judge, you also told Senator Klobuchar that this memorandum was about meetings and coordination.
Yeah.
Meetings and coordination.
Yeah.
Well, I have in my hand right here that I'll submit to the record a letter from one of your U.S. attorneys to all of the county attorneys, to the attorney general, to all sheriffs, to the school board association of his state, in which he talks about federal investigation and prosecution. It's not about meetings. It's not about coordination. It's about federal investigation and prosecution. Did you direct your U.S. attorneys to issue such a letter?
Did not. I have not seen that letter.
Got 3 pages. Got 3 pages of spreadsheet about all the federal crimes that a parent could be charged with, to include the ones you cited. Did Maine Justice make this spreadsheet, Judge? I don't have any idea. My memorandum speaks specifically about setting up meetings, and I'll just read it again. Meetings.
Judge,
we've all read your memo.
For now, I think people got the gist that it is that Tom Cotton, who is pressing Merrick Garland, the Attorney General, culminates in that moment where, again, God says this shit.
This is shameful. This testimony, your directive, your performance is shameful.
Okay. That's not.
Thank God you are not on the Supreme Court. You should resign in disgrace, Judge.
All right, so it's actually pretty funny how people are now going to bat for Merrick Garland. You actually get to the point where, and I guess I shouldn't be surprised by this because it's fucking Aaron Rupar over here, but this is what we're dealing with here. Aaron Rupar tweeting out, Ted Cruz defends Nazi salutes at school board meetings. Let's watch a full clip real quick.
I did a quick count just sitting here. During this hearing, I counted 20 incidents cited. Of the 20, 15 on their face are nonviolent. They involve things like insults. They involve a Nazi salute. That's one of the examples. My God, a parent did a Nazi salute at a school board because he thought the policies were oppressive. General Garland is doing a Nazi salute at an elected official. Is that protected by the First Amendment?
Yes, it is.
Okay.
All right, so there you go. There's you have Aaron Rupar saying it's only Ted Cruz defending the Nazi salutes. Merrick Garland is as well. But you know what's actually really missing from all this? And it's I honestly, this saddens me because this is something that this gets no attention at all. Let me play the clip for you.
I got the vaccine, you got the vaccine, they got the vaccine, we got the vaccine. We can get back to normal, let me inform you, let's all get the vaccine. It's about community immunity. I'm talking unity for you and me. If Doc says it's good, trust me, it's good. Now let's all get the vaccine. Alright, there is none higher. DMC, I will inspire. Time for us to trust and not debate. The vaccine, believe it's safe to take. 9 out of 10 people won't get sick. That's 90% effective and legit. This COVID thing is real and it will find you. It's killing our people. Let me remind you. Back in the days, there was polio, smallpox. Back in the days, measles and mumps, man. Back in the days, but because of the vaccines, none of those stays. Vaccines, they work to trigger immunity. 2 shots, we got antibody security. We gotta act now. No need to wait. Get your vaccine before it's too late. For real.
I had to do it, Habibis. I'm sorry. I really did. But yeah, back to the story. You know, when Rupar does this shit, it bothers me all the time. But it gets even people like Ilhan Omar, who obviously I'm not saying is like a beacon of truth and in fact, I'd say she's far from it. But she takes the bait. She tweets out Ted Cruz casually defending Nazis in a congressional hearing. Come on, just watch the
best part about this though. The best part about this though is the fact that I think it was like yesterday or 2 days ago, she literally in a thing in her district basically says that the police suck and that they need to get rid of the police and it's the police's fault that the police can't do their job correctly. Like, what? Like, it's your fault they're not doing a good job. And then like,
well, it's obviously true.
Yeah,
it's obviously true. Brand. Let's go, Brandon. Right?
Let's go, Brandon.
Let's go, Brandon. Actually, you know what? It's shifting gears here because Let's Go Brandon apparently is now offending all the mainstream media outlets. We actually, it's quite hilarious seeing this unfold here because, God, where's that fucking tweet here? Boomer Siraj strikes again. My favorite time. So Ashley Parker, who's a Washington Post reporter, she's tweeting out things like, "Let's go, Brandon." /fuck Joe Biden, Carissa Wolf and I take a look at the anger and vulgarity greeting Biden as he travels the country. I mean, did history just start in fucking 2021? Every day I'm being gaslit here. Every day someone is trying to tell me that the sky is green when I know it's fucking blue. And sometimes I guess it could be green, I guess, if you're watching the, Aurora Borealis. But in any event, do people not understand that fucking they've been saying fuck Donald Trump ever since he started running for president? People saying fuck Obama, fuck Bush. Like, this isn't anything new. How is this new? It's actually really funny how organic it's all happened. And now I think Steve's made a great point. He said, if you are making this point as a journalist, it's impossible to refute the idea that you yourself are not offended by it. Spencer, what were you going to say?
I was going to say it's funny because also, like, Bush got a shoe thrown at him in the middle of a press conference. And, like, when you compare that to this, like, speech is violence now, I guess, is where the media is going. So I guess this is
jokes
now
are violence too, right? Jokes are violence.
But I guess what I find funny also about this is the fact that, like, everyone's covering up for the fact that, like, on the first day of being a congresswoman, Rashida Tlaib, I think it was Rashida Tlaib, literally said Trump was a motherfucker. Like, you gotta go get that motherfucker out of office. To quote her, I'm quoting her here.
She said, we're going to impeach the motherfucker. Here's Edward Isaac Dover, who is a reporter at CNN, tweeting about Republican Representative Jeff Duncan. Spotted out House votes GOP Rep Jeff Duncan of South Carolina wearing a mask with a phrase that Republicans are using in place of fuck Joe Biden. This is how Edward Isaac Dover, this is how he writes it. He says, Jeff Duncan, a congressman who calls himself a champion of traditional family values, showed up to a vote today with an inside joke telling the president of the United States to perform a sexual act on himself displayed over his own mouth. Fuck Joe Biden is not telling the president to perform a sexual act on himself. Maybe if let's go Brandon was a euphemism of like, go fuck yourself, Joe Biden, but fuck Joe Biden? I don't think that cuts it. So there you have it again. Edward Isaac Dover sounds like he is taking offense on the president's behalf for people saying let's go Brandon or even fuck Joe Biden. It's actually pretty funny how people are saying that let's go Brandon is somehow like reprehensible. It is a euphemism for fuck Joe Biden. Even then, like, nobody got up in arms for saying fuck Donald Trump or even fuck Obama or fuck Bush. It's like they ran out of stories to report. But I don't know. I digress. Wow, we're kind of speeding along here. We have next week. Well, first of all, shout out to Blake Bayi. Is it Bayi or Bay? I don't know how to pronounce your last name. Sorry, Blake.
I think
he
it's
is
Bay.
Actually Bay.
Like Baye. So I think it's Bay, but Blake will probably text me being like, it's Bay or something. Yeah. I don't know. We'll figure it out.
Well, he'll certainly voice his either approval or disapproval of how he pronounces his last name. If Jay were here, fucking Jay, he probably would say Bay or some shit like that. Anyways, he is going to be elected to some council next week in Kansas.
It's
City
his
council.
Local council in. Oh, I know. I knew this at one point in time. Blake, I'm sorry. I forget what town it's in, but it's in a town.
Yeah, he says it's Bay. No,
it's Bay.
You mean, as Carl says, it's Blake Bay. Blake Bay says. Blake's never going to see the end of this.
But it's of some city council position that he's unopposed in currently. So, yeah.
Well,
Hillsborough, Kansas. Hillsborough, Kansas. There. It's.
Thank you, Blake. Thank you. So he's gonna be winning that seat. But on top of that, we also have the Virginia gubernatorial election where Terry McAuliffe is the Democrat is running against Republican Glenn Youngkin. Now that race has tightened in recent weeks. I haven't actually seen the most recent poll.
It was
but you can almost feel it. What?
It was like 0.3% of a percentage point.
The lead that that McAuliffe has over Youngkin.
Yeah.
Yeah. The idea was that that McAuliffe was just going to fucking destroy Youngkin. Youngkin didn't have a chance, and now, I guess by McAuliffe constantly shooting himself in the foot, there is a chance for Youngkin to actually win this thing. Now McAuliffe was the governor before. He was the governor from like 2014 to 2018. He fucking sucked. I would know as a Virginia resident at the time. But I'm a Florida man now, so fuck that shit. I don't have to care about Virginia. You guys can, fend for yourselves. However, there is a pretty big report coming from the Daily Wire in which they actually reported that a law firm that Terry McAuliffe is linked to was actually fighting a Virginia student who said she was gang raped back in 2012. Now, McAuliffe, he was served as a senior advisor from 2019 until recently when he started his run for governor of Virginia. But this law firm, Hunton Andrews Kurth, is battling a young woman who says that she was repeatedly raped on her Fairfax County middle school campus as a 12-year-old, and that she was slashed with a knife, burned with a lighter, anally penetrated, and gang raped. It's very grotesque details. I don't want to get into too much of it. And it's a long report. I read through the whole thing. And I have to say, I don't know what Terry's involvement is with this particular case. It's kind of like a guilty by association type of story. If anything, if you're going to indict Terry McAuliffe for anything in relation to this particular story, is that he had the audacity, or he didn't have he doesn't have a moral compass that he would work with a law firm like this, and he get paid. Now he had to report that on his ethics forms. He received like $250,000 in 2021, but that was the max amount that you can report. So he's possibly got way more than that. But yeah, Terry McAuliffe, everything that he has basically proposed, I think for when it comes to schools, I think that's where he's really losing, because on messaging, on things like mask mandates, vaccine mandates, critical race theory, in Virginia, I don't know if Virginia is representative of the entire country, but there are plenty of conservatives in Virginia. And while there are a lot of liberals up in Northern Virginia, I think there's a good chunk of them that believe that everything relating to critical race theory, the vaccine mandates, and mask mandates fucking suck. Or I have to say this, everything happening in Loudoun County schools and Fairfax County schools, that's Northern Virginia. If you lose Northern Virginia, or if you don't get the type of turnout that you should be getting in Northern Virginia, you're fucking done. And that's where Glenn Youngkin, I think, probably has the advantage, is that there are going to be a lot of people in Virginia who have seen how Democratic policies have changed their state, and not for the better. And maybe, I don't know if Glenn Youngkin's at all a good candidate. I don't really know much about the guy. But everything he said on the campaign trail with respect to a lot, specifically about parents being involved in their children's education, simply just saying that, versus Terry McAuliffe who's like, oh yeah, parents should never be involved in their children's education. Like, leave it to the teachers. The teachers don't give a shit about your child. They never did. And it's one of those things where when you start to, I think in almost any situation, when you start to mess with kids, that really infuriates a lot of people. If you fuck with kids, you fuck with us, basically, essentially, 100%.
And to add on to that, I don't remember who tweeted it out, but someone tweeted out recently talking about how, like, this looks bad on Democrats both ways. right? First, it looks bad on them because if they win, right, which again in this case, who knows? But let's say they win, right? They're going to think, okay, Virginia, which is a heavily blue state, like it's viewed as like a safe state for Democrats, right? If they can, if they support this agenda, right? If they elect him and support the agenda, then we can do it elsewhere, right? On the flip side, if they can do it elsewhere, just because Virginia, a heavily blue state likes it, doesn't mean North Carolina, a purple state, or Ohio, which is starting to lead red, or Michigan, or any other state is going to like it the same way. So they're going to keep campaigning on the same things that he did. So it's a double-edged sword because it's either they lose Virginia or they lose other states.
Yeah, I mean, what's interesting, and I think this is going to be, I think, Virginia's always been interesting in this regard. They always have had their elections in off years and odd years for the governorship and their assembly. Now, just kind of updating you on what happened with that Daily Wire story. I actually have a tweet here from Justin Juvenal, who is a justice reporter with the Washington Post. Not a very good one, because just read this fucking tweet. Tweets out, a teen testifies she met a classmate for consensual sex in the girls' bathroom of a Loudoun County high school before, but in a May encounter, she was sexually assaulted. New details in the case at the center of a firestorm. Sounds like a lot of victim blaming right here. And honestly, this is the actual story that he wrote. In a case that has generated a political firestorm, Virginia Juvenile Court judge found sufficient evidence during a trial Monday to sustain charges that a teen sexually assaulted a classmate in the girls' bathroom of a Loudoun County high school. Now, I think this follows up that initial Daily Wire report that the student in question had. I don't know if they were trans, but it was one of those things where they had access to the girls' bathroom one way or another, and they raped another student. And I don't know if there was a cover up. It sounds like there has been a lot of everything's been very hush hush about this, particularly you're not hearing a lot from teachers, but there was actually a student walkout in these Loudoun County public schools earlier this week. I don't have a clip of it, but I mean, you don't really have to watch a walkout happen. It's kind of like just dead audio, much like this actual live stream. It's dead audio. It's not like you're actually learning anything. Fuck you, Spencer. You're ruining the show. But in any event, this is one of those things where I think this whole affair actually has way more of an impact on the gubernatorial election in Virginia than people like to admit. And if Terry McAuliffe loses to Glenn Youngkin, I think this would be the reason why. We'll see. I mean, it's a tight race. And look, if there's malfeasance going on, like if there's like cheating and shit, which, look, that shit happens, and we are less than a year removed from very serious allegations that the 2020 election was not fair. There is definitely a lot of concern that some people are going to be up to no good. Now, I will not say that I don't think that there isn't not going to be cheating, but I will say that if they try to pull any shit like they did last year with the stopping counting over the vote, I can see the same type of grievances come forth about people saying that the election was stolen. And thank you, Spencer, for changing that lower third. Boomer shouting at the clouds of revolt allegations. But yeah, there's basically a lot of I mean, we know that cheating in voting has happened many, many times. I mean, we still, even with like the 1960 presidential election between John F. Kennedy and Richard Nixon. I mean, to this day, it's still being debated whether Kennedy actually legitimately won that election. Anyways, moving on. On a different note, there has actually been a pretty significant update on the Gabby Petito Brian Laundrie story. I mean, none that you probably haven't already heard of, but the human remains found at a Carlton Reserve confirmed as those of Brian Laundrie, according to the FBI. And I don't know why Denver released this. I guess I don't actually know where Brian Laundrie's body was found. Was it Denver? Was it in Colorado? Board observer says, I think both sides will complain like a Blake bisexual. Bam, got him. Yeah, so anyways, they had to use dental records to figure out whether Brian Laundrie was him. So I think we need to go back to the that Tim Dillon tweet that he got a lot of shit for about how national parks are dangerous as fuck. Because he got a lot of shit for it, especially in the wake of Gabby Petito being discovered as, I guess her remains were originally discovered. You know, the moment was intense. And I think there are a lot of people who were very sensitive to what was being said. And so, you know, Tim Dillon, who was a comedian, told a joke, and people got really upset. Very tough for a comedian to make the list nowadays. But Tim Dillon is one of those people who's like, constantly shit posting, so I would not be surprised if he didn't make the list. But anyways, Brian Laundrie found dead. We don't have any more answers on what actually happened to Gabby Petito. Of course, we know that they found her remains. They confirmed it, but how she died, they said it was strangulation. A sad story all around. I don't know if this offers or provides any comfort or closure to anyone, but it's all sad. It's all very sad. Another sad story is this whole thing happening with Rust, with Alec Baldwin. He shot and killed the cinematographer Helena. I'm going to say her last name is Andrews, if I'm not mistaken. Helena Hutchins. I'm sorry, Helena Hutchins was killed on the set of Rust. And there's still a lot of stories flying around about that, but I gotta say, I don't know what's gonna happen to Alec Baldwin. But one of my friends said, "Oh God, I'm blurry again." Damon 12 says Laundrie was found in Florida. That's what I thought. I thought it was found in Florida. I don't know why the Denver FBI was trying to find him, or they found him, or they released a statement. Anyways, back to Alec Baldwin. You know, if Alec Baldwin wasn't such an asshole, I don't think there would be nearly as many jokes about him shooting and killing a cinematographer as there are, or people wishing that he went to prison. If he simply hired a good publicist, he would probably get a lot of sympathy. Like if Denzel Washington accidentally shot a cinematographer on set, I think there are plenty of people who would be like, you know what? Throw me in jail. Throw me in jail instead of Denzel. I'd rather go. Alec Baldwin is just an asshole. Like if he truly wanted the benefit of the doubt, he already ruined it. He ruined it. But look, we'll see what happens. There might be criminal charges pending, whether it's like negligent homicide or manslaughter or something like that. Yeah, and he also shot. I mean, the bullet went through Helena Hutchins and into another member of the crew who was injured. I can't remember their name, but anyways, yeah. I just don't fucking get it. Oh God, what is this? Oh, Lauren Boebert. Oh, you see it? The right? I don't get it. Look, everybody was making jokes about it. It really became too difficult to list everything. Lauren Boebert tweets here, Alec Baldwin, are these still available? Asking for a movie producer. And Alec Baldwin tweeting in December 2014, I'm going to make bright banana yellow t-shirts that read, my hands are up, please don't shoot me. Who wants one? Did you see Donald Trump Jr. is also selling t-shirts about Alec Baldwin in the shooting. Like, oh, fuck. I mean, come on, guys. Why do you have to fucking do this? Like, I get that there are, scumbag people on the left that make that shit, make light of people's deaths all the time and post cringy shit. But like, you don't have to fucking sink to their level. In fact, you actually look worse than the left when this happens, because you're making light of a situation that is just sad all around. That doesn't need. It's not like Alec Baldwin lived to like a ripe old age of 90 and then passed away, and then you're making fun of him for his death. Like, some people are basically queuing up, particularly on the left, they're queuing up Queen Elizabeth's inevitable death. She is currently on bed rest as they're worried about her health. She's 95 years old. I've seen a lot of people on the scumbag left basically say it's like cue the crabs, like the crab dancing meme, basically celebrating the death of what will be the monarch. But like, Donald Trump Jr., like, you were the fucking son of the former president. Like, why are you debasing yourself like this? There's no reason to do it. You're making a quick buck for what? It's fucking stupid. Anyways, I need to pour myself another drink. Fuzzy says Siraj has crabs. Thank you, Fuzzy. Yes, I do. All right, so where else do we have? Oh, Dave Chappelle. Fucking Dave Chappelle. Oh man, so Dave Chappelle finally responded to the Netflix walkout. You got that clip? Paul?
To the transgender community, I am more than willing to give you an audience, but you will not summon me. I am not bending to anybody's demands. And if you want to meet with me, I'd be more than willing to, but I have some conditions. First of all, you cannot come if you have not watched my special from beginning to end.
Come.
You must come to a place of my choosing.
Come.
And a time of my choosing. And thirdly, you must admit that Hannah Gadsby is not funny.
Oh, well, sorry. Whew. Sorry about that, Habibis. I was just scratching.
But what's funny about that last one, before we get to the first 2 points, that's funny about the last one is that the people who are like, oh, Hannah Gadsby is so funny, right? Like, her comedy special from like the people perspective on Rotten Tomatoes was like, 40%, I think, maybe at most 40%. I think it was really like 20, but it was somewhere around there. And Dave Chappelle's at 100. But when you look at the blue check, it's like 100% for Hannah, for whatever. Essentially, for what's her face, and then like 20% for Dave Chappelle. So like, who knows?
Yeah. Well, Jezebel felt defensive enough that they had to tweet out this article saying Dave Chappelle says Hannah Gadsby is not funny. The laughter at her show taping suggests otherwise. Like, yes, that's what's gonna do it. That you guys really owned him with that. That's why we list those blue checks. So yeah, Jezebel gets a list for that. That is one of those things where look, I don't know how you fucking tweet that out without laughing. Like that, this tweet is actually funnier than Hannah Gadsby. Spencer, carry the show while I get Ernie.
Cool. But there's also someone had a tweet. I mean, I've been here, so like, whatever. Go get Ern while you're there. We need the king. But like, this has been just bad. I mean, content-wise, in terms of just the way that people are portraying this, is just really bad. Like, normally what you should do, right, from my limited media experience, is like, let the story just die out, and then who cares, right? Like, when you look at Dave Chappelle in his comedy special, like, I watched the whole thing, I laughed pretty much the entire thing. Like, it wasn't like Sticks and Stones. Sticks and Stones was funny, but like this was okay. This was good comedy. And I think that like the way people are reacting to this has just been awful. Like, this is worse than the Biden's PR team. Like, that's bad. This is worse.
Yeah, I didn't actually have a chance to watch Sticks and Stones.
Oh, you're missing out, bud.
Yeah, no, I'm gonna watch it later. But this is one of those things where I initially, when I watched the closer, Chappelle's final special, the one that's obviously the subject of all the controversy, I thought to myself, this is this is funny. And it's not his best special. I thought his very first special, Killing Them Softly, was like the funniest shit I've ever seen. And that's just classic because everything that he was saying then, it holds true to today. Oh, Ernie, what are you doing? Oh, his paws caught my shirt. Damon told us that Siraj Hashmi is not funny. Siraj laughing at his own jokes suggests otherwise. Yeah, no, but I watched it a second time. I watched the closer a second time, and I thought to myself, shit, this is actually way funnier than the first time. And maybe because I had the context of knowing that everybody who watched it the first time, who was actually angry by it, either didn't watch it or they did watch it and they turned it off in the middle of it because they were so offended by it. Like, it was even funnier the second time around than it was the first, and that rarely happens when I watch a comedy special.
What you should do though after this? After this, you know what you should do? You should watch Sticks and Stones and then watch the closer again. Because if you thought the closer was funny the second time, watch it after you watch Sticks and Stones again.
Okay.
Sticks and Stones is so funny. I think it's one of his best comedy sketches that I've seen that he's done. But I think it's one of the better ones in terms of today's comedy. Like, I like to just say that today's comedy sucks. Like, it does.
Spencer, how old are you?
It's just worse. 18.
So you were born after he put out Killing Them Softly.
Yes. I also missed the Dave Chappelle show live.
So you're oh, that's right. Shit. So your opinion doesn't matter. Get the fuck out of here. And you might want to take off earned time because the banner is blocking our king. There we go. All right. So now that we know what's going on there, let's see. What am I missing here? Oh, can you believe it? Can you believe Spencer's only fucking 18 years old? He's producing this show. God. I really am a boomer.
So I was actually doing research on like how to become a better producer just for this, and I saw this funny thing on one of the like job reporting websites, and it was so funny the way it phrased it. It was like, it's a senior position. You have to be quote, the primary qualifications for becoming a better podcast producer are several years of experience producing long-form audio programming in a deadline-driven media environment. I was a high school student when you first moved me over to this, by the way. I'm just making it clear.
I mean, that's fair. And, Spencer reached out, wanted to do some doing an internship. I couldn't really say no. He wanted to help. And I didn't know how to say no. Basically, I'm very bad at turning people down. Because if I would have just fired Spencer before he even started. Anyways, Enes Kanter, the NBA player for the Boston Celtics, is now under a lot of fire. I can't recall exactly what it is that he said. Maybe, do you have a clip of that, Spencer? I think we have a clip of that. Are we boomering?
Dear Nike, your company says that you are making a positive impact in our communities. And that is true. Yes, you are. Here in the United States, Nike stands with the Black Lives Matter. Nike stands with Stop Asian Hate. Nike stands with the Latino community. And Nike stands with the LGBTQ community. And Nike remains vocal about injustice here in America. But when it comes to China, Nike remains silent. You do not address police brutality in China. You do not speak about discrimination against the LGBTQ community. you do not say a word about the oppression of minorities in China. You are scared to speak up. Who makes your shoes in China? Do you even know? There are so many forced labor factories in China. For instance, Uyghur forced labor in modern day slavery, and it is happening right now in China. Millions of Uyghurs are currently detained, sold, and assigned to work at forced labor camps, prisons, and factories across the country. They are under constant surveillance with long working hours and poor living conditions. They are subject to political re-education. They have no freedom of expression, no freedom of religion, and they are not even able to leave. Did you know that almost the entire apparel and footwear industry is tainted by Uyghur forced labor? Many well-known global brands are implicated, and yes, that includes one of the NBA's biggest sponsors, Nike. Nike claims that they do not allow any forced labor in their supply chains. Yet, they don't have the receipt to prove it. They have not publicly committed to cutting ties with the Chinese government's labor transfer scheme. They have not provided clear timelines or updates about their efforts to end this. They have not publicly committed to the steps outlined by the coalition to end Uyghur forced labor. Don't forget, every time you put those shoes on your feet or you put that t-shirt on your back, there are so many tears and so much oppression and so much blood behind it all. Nike likes to say, just do it. Well, what are you doing about the slave labor that makes your shoes? That slave labor that makes you rich? To the owner of Nike, Phil Knight, I have a message for you. How about I book a plane tickets for us? Let's fly to China together. We can try to visit these slave labor camps, and you can see it with your own eyes. LeBron James and Michael Jordan, you guys are welcome to come too. Nike must be a participant in this. Stop with hypocrisy. Stop the modern day slavery now.
So there you have Enes Kanter, the Boston Celtics, calling out Nike for their support of forced labor. Now, this is actually something that's been ongoing. I remember when there are actually a lot more brands than just Nike implicated in all this, and it's actually it's very unfortunate how many sort of get away with it. But as a result of that, the Boston Celtics are no longer allowed to be broadcast in China. The Chinese Communist Party basically banned them. And Spencer says this is also the 10th time that the Turkish government has issued a warrant for what's his name's arrest, for Enes Kanter's arrest. Dude actually can't go anywhere abroad. I'm actually surprised that he would even he would even propose going to China, because dude didn't even go to London when he was playing for the New York Knicks, and the Knicks had a game in London, or he was a member of the Blazers. He was a part of one of those two teams, and they had NBA games in London during the regular season. And as a result, he didn't go because he knew that if he went, Turkey would basically deploy, say, a particular task force or squad, arrest Enes Kanter in London. Oh, there's also worry about assassination. But they would extradite him back to Turkey. But the assassination part is even more likely. In any event, so you have that. Enes Kanter's making a huge ruckus when it comes to China, and you're not actually seeing a whole lot of news about it. At least mainstream coverage, like the way that Daryl Morey, the then general manager of the Houston Rockets and now current general manager of the Philadelphia 76ers, handled the Hong Kong tweet. And anyways, when it comes to China, the NBA has remained silent. They don't want to talk about it. They just want to keep getting their money and not fuck the bag up. It's sad because, as Enes Kanter was pointing out, you really cannot get anything done or you can't at least be taken seriously as a humanitarian or activist if you stay silent on some of these really, really big issues. So, yeah. So NBA sucks, but we watch it anyways because, well, we shouldn't, but we do because we're addicted to sports. God damn it! I hate being. I love sports,
But
but I hate
also,
sports.
but also, he also has different shoes that he's made for it. That just dunk on China. He has the Winnie the Pooh shoes, which are personally my favorite. Shoes that he has. He has.
I have those.
He has the China shoes, the Uyghur ones, and he has ones for I forget the third one. He has one for Tibet. He's a Tibet shoe also, which is really cool. Like all these shoe designs have been really cool that he's been wearing. Like here's my favorite one. This is a funny one. Go to the other shoe. Go to the other shoe.
Not this one.
Yeah, no. That shoe. Go back 2 photos. No, the second photo.
That one.
Go back to go back to the Winnie the Pooh shoe.
Oh.
There you go.
Oh shit. Wow.
It's genius. It also looks cool. It looks like a cool shoe. I'd buy that. But like,
where are you going, Ernie? The president wants to leave us. Hold on.
But it's like a great shoe, and like honestly, if he sold it, I wonder how many people would buy it. But like, this is just one of the 3 that he's had, and he's on a tear right now. I wouldn't be surprised if he goes after Afghanistan next. Like, it's for him. It could be him, but like he.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know, man.
Also, the NBA is silent. The NBA has been dead silent on all of this. Like, there's not been one mention of it. There's no been question like, LeBron, do you think Enes Kanter doesn't know what he's talking about? The same way they asked LeBron back when Maury had his tweet. Do you think Maury knows what he's talking about with Hong Kong? You sure? Like, that doesn't exist now. And like, what the heck?
Oh, Spencer. Look how he's self-censoring himself. Anyways, here are your Tibetan shoes. Yeah, well, I mean, it definitely takes a lot of balls to do this, and if you watch the Chappelle special, the closer, he mentioned something about how there are certain people who get off the bus and walk, and he's obviously referencing freedom riders during the civil rights movement. You can't just simply go down there to places where there's segregation, and then there's Jim Crow laws, and basically you have to get off the bus and march. And Dave Chappelle is referencing how the fact that he got off the bus and marched away from, or walked away from $50 million from Comedy Central to not do his show anymore, simply because of the way it was being turned into. Enes Kanter is getting off the bus here and walking, and the only way he knows how, and that is by using his platform and speaking out against these things, giving a voice to the voiceless. And I respect the algorithm for doing that. It's not an easy thing to do, and you alienate a lot of people by doing that, and not alienate people who, look, you may not alienate people that you like. You probably, if anything, you find out who your true friends are. And I think with Enes Kanter, some people, I've seen the base Siraj say that Pedro Gonzalez said, actually trying to kind of poo-poo the whole situation about Enes Kanter, because he called out China, but he also praised like Black Lives Matter, or like standing with LGBTQ community and stuff like that. And it's just like this now, we're like, there are I feel some people, regardless of what side you find yourself on, there's always going to be someone out there who's basically always going to demand intellectual or ideological purity. And you're never going to get that. Everything's issue by issue. And with Enes Kanter, he is speaking out against China, speaking truth to power, speaking out against Nike and the NBA. And there's really not much you can do but tip your hat. I see Carl bring up the Chicago Blackhawks story. So I haven't had I haven't had a whole lot of time to go over that story simply because I think right before we went live, I think they broke the story that in this report about a sexual assault happening, it was a former Chicago Blackhawks player, Kyle Beach, who was the victim. He filed a lawsuit against the team for mishandling sexual assault allegations. Beach, who is now 31 and playing professionally in Germany, revealed himself in an emotional interview on TSN on Wednesday, saying he felt relief and vindication, and it was no longer my word against everybody else's. An investigation by the law firm Jenner and Block, commissioned by the Blackhawks, was made public Tuesday. The report concluded that nothing was done by senior leaders in Blackhawks coaching and management in 2010 after Beach reported that Brad Aldrich, then the team's video coach, sexually assaulted and harassed him. Tuesday, it was a day of many emotions, Beach said. I cried, I smiled, I laughed, I cried some more. My girlfriend and I, we didn't really know how to feel. We didn't really know how to think. Beach said he buried this secret for 11 years, and it destroyed me from the inside out. He also said he believed that everyone in the Blackhawks locker room knew that he alleged Aldridge of doing, and word spread pretty quick. Now, this is, look, terrible story all around. I actually have no idea how people don't, like, if a sexual assault happens in any event, or standards have changed so dramatically because at the beginning of the show we were basically talking about this Fairfax County public school sexual assault and rape and how it's getting buried by a lot of different press outlets or not being talked about nationally. I mean, it's happening just right outside Washington, D.C. And then you have the story here with Kyle Beach just coming forward now. You have one of the, I think, top executives within the Blackhawks organization actually resigning as a result of this report. And I apologize. I don't follow hockey as closely as I used to, but this is one of those things where, like, I'd be surprised if this gets any real, like, mainstream attention because the sexual assault happened to a guy. There's, for men, it just isn't really sympathy. Where men are seen as the perpetrators, not the victims. So, it's man on man in this case with the video coach and Kyle Beach. I just don't, it's unfortunate. I don't expect this to. It's good that there's some accountability, and that people are finally being held to account. But like I said, in terms of public outrage, I don't think you're going to see it on the level of, say, like, women's, the U.S. women's gymnastics team and how there was just like system, the Larry Nassar thing. Like, I think that was obviously, in terms of gradient, that was way worse. And maybe the public outrage was really there and it should have been there. But even if it was just like one individual, I think if it was just like one, like if it happened to one woman in a particular sport or athletic department, you name it, Spencer, I think there'd be way more outrage if it happened to a woman than to a man.
So actually, there's a very comparable story. There was a story coming out of the NWSL, the National Women's Soccer League. I don't know much about it. I remember reading about it like a couple weeks ago, but there was something that had to do with one of the team's coaches, and the league didn't do anything. And the league got said about it. Someone's probably gonna correct me on that. But
no, you're right.
Was like
it was actually
a blip.
Yeah, that was another thing. And honestly, maybe that refutes my point about people being outraged. Maybe we're so fucking desensitized to all this shit that there's no room for outrage anymore. We're too outraged at like the political news cycle, too outraged at sports, too outraged by the bullshit on Twitter or social media, or like, again, let's go back to the Chappelle special. He's talking about the baby in the beginning, how he shot and killed somebody, and nothing happened to him. But as soon as he said something really homophobic about gays and AIDS, boom, career done, cancel.
Same thing with Kevin Hart. Also,
you can kill somebody, but you better not hurt a gay person's feelings. Like, that's kind of I feel like our priorities are completely out of order in terms of that, and I feel like we almost have to completely repress immediately any like negative emotions about certain things that are really serious because having to dwell on them is just too emotionally taxing.
No, but like look at Kevin Hart back when he was trying to be I forget, is the Emmys, the Oscars, something like that, the Grammys, some award show that no one cares about now. But like he was trying to host it. Like Dave Chappelle talks about this in Sticks and Stones. Actually, you should watch it.
Was it Kevin Hart?
It was Kevin Hart. Yeah, he's talking about Kevin Hart. How Kevin Hart was trying to host it.
He made a bunch of homophobic. Yeah, he made a bunch of homophobic tweets, or he said the
10
F
years
word
ago.
back. Yeah, something like that. And
2011, I think. Like it's absurd that like we're looking back at tweets 10 years ago and now who cares?
Yeah. So Faye says, "You honestly think people would care more about a female victim? Look about what WAPA did to a teen schoolgirl who was raped." Exactly. I refuted my point almost immediately, Faye, and you're helping refute my point as well.
Boomer. That's
why I go to that point where, like, I think by and large, people are too desensitized to all this, and at this point, people are outraged by this shit anymore. Stuff, but this motherfucker right here. Look who showed up. He actually showed up. I didn't actually think this was gonna happen. What's up,
what
bitch?
The fuck is going on here?
Jay, I think we both can acknowledge that we're not good alone. We have to be together.
Well, this is true. I mean, I know we have to be together. It doesn't work. Us doing it solo. Well, and especially because Spencer likes to come in.
Yeah, Spencer
like,
likes to take the spotlight. Fuck you, Spencer.
Right. I mean, and you can't see what I'm wearing on my head for some reason.
Bros, that's a nice hat.
Well, no. The hat is nice, but
are those Mickey Mouse ears?
Yeah, you can't see them because the AI takes them off. See, there they are. There you go. There.
That's beautiful.
She wanted me to wear them if I made it on here.
How is Disney World? How is China?
It was great. Alhamdulillah. China is fantastic.
MashaAllah, MashaAllah.
Do I need to teach you how to do a kafaya?
I'm doing it right now.
You're not.
I'm doing it. I'm doing it. I'm doing it. Look at me. Look at me. I'm fucking.
Who would have thought?
Right
who would have thought? Not me.
Not me.
Absolutely not. It's beautiful. You're looking great, Habibi.
So did you kill the Emir when you were in Lebanon?
The Emir? No, I didn't. I never even went and sat down with Khalifa. What's his name? Is his name Khalifa? No.
No.
I forget his name.
This is really not working out for me, this Khalifa. Jay, you are gonna have to teach me.
I will. You want me to give you a lesson right now before I go?
Should we do it? Yeah. Are you gonna leave me right now, or I was hoping you stay?
Give me 1 second. Let me go get my kafaya and help you.
All right. Siraj looks like a Disney pirate. Is Jay a CCP simp now? I think that is true. Here we go.
I have a red one, and then I have my terrorist one, which is this one. This is the one I like because it looks aggressive. Hold on.
While Jay's figuring that out, Rokoro on Rumble says, Jay's shirt says Star Warriors, in case anyone is wondering. I think you've become a full CCC pimp.
This is Japanese. This isn't Chinese.
Wow.
It's a Star Wars reference.
Right.
Boomer.
I apologize.
CCC pimp.
Did you call it a CCC pimp?
I know it's not a CCC pimp. I was a CCP
and also as we're currently
today. That's what I was today.
A couple quick things. We're obviously wishing Stacey Minnis well. She was in the hospital. I think she's still in the hospital recovering. Let us know if you need anything, Habibi. We are here for you. Prayers up for you and speedy recovery. And
yes, we still have to go for tacos and bourbon once you get.
Inshallah. And then finally, a heartfelt congratulations to Feta Bibi, Bridget Fetisi. She went on a Joe Rogan Experience and announced that she is pregnant and expecting in April.
What?
Yeah,
That's
man.
crazy. MashaAllah.
MashaAllah. Takbir.
Takbir. Allahu Akbar.
Takbir.
Allahu Akbar.
Takbir.
Allahu Akbar.
All right, so how are we going to do this kafaya?
Okay, so hold on. I don't know why I can't find my aux cord for some reason. That's so weird. Because I'm going to...
You mean you can't hear me?
No, I can hear you just fine. I can hear you fine.
So
So
aux cord for?
it was so I can put you on my Bluetooth speaker and take these off. Because I need my head.
That's right. You need your head.
Yes. So here, let me show you. I will give you head later.
Okay. Excellent.
All right. So this is how it's done.
Spencer showing off how white he is by not knowing how to spell kafaya.
The kafaya is this. It's the Arab scarf.
Yeah.
So you make it into a triangle.
I got a triangle.
All right. And then you go on the right side.
Right side.
All right. You hold it tight. Tight. Put it through and around till you come.
Till you come?
Until you come. You it's like a reach around until you come.
Okay.
All right. And you go around.
And you tuck
it in.
Right? Tuck that shit in?
Yeah. You tuck it in. Just like Bruce Jenner did for a few years.
Jared Black says, Habibi Bros, you inspired me to write a book, Dr. Zakir Naik, or How I Learned to Stop Worrying and Love the Shari. All right, what did I do on this side?
Oh, you missed it. You totally missed it. You're busy. Yeah. Flip it.
Back?
No. Yeah, you can flip it around. Take it. There you go.
Tuck it
in. And it's good. I mean, it's all right. It's not too bad. I mean, you did good.
It's okay.
For a boomer.
So I guess I'm a boomer. Yeah, okay for a boomer.
It's not bad.
Okay. So Jay, how was your day?
My day was fantastic. I got to take a few, fob Filipinos around in in Disney. So there was a lot of pictures taken. And they never lost me because I was taller than all of them. So that's great. I mean, and it's a testament to how short Filipinos are if I was the tallest one amongst them, being 5'4".
Yeah, I thought you were 4'9".
Siraj, don't kick a small man when he's down. Fuck you, Spence.
It is fair, sir. Sir, it is fair. But since you're here, Jay, let us do our favorite segment, sir. We do our favorite segment, okay? Maybe Spencer, he beats me to it, but there it is. It is here. Ask us anything, sir. We are Hashmi Anything. Ask us anything. Go ahead. Ask us your questions. Ask us all the questions. Carl says, Jay, what do I get if I end Spencer's undefeated fantasy season? Is Spencer really undefeated?
He's really undefeated right now.
I am, and I'm good. I beat Jay. Ben beat Jay. The interns 2. Jay 0. Goose egg. Donut hole. And I will say the season undefeated. Let's go.
I'm 5-2 in the season. He's 7-0. It's bullshit. I lost. The only teams I've lost to were Ben and Spencer. It's rigged. It's absolutely
interns.
He lost to me by like 20 points. He sucks.
It's absolutely garbage. It's garbage. And where were you? You're supposed to be my second.
By the way, I know. I don't know what happened.
Yeah.
Jay, we learned that Blake's last name is pronounced bi, like Blake bisexual.
Blake bisexual. Yeah. There you go. Blake bi for Siraj.
Blake bi curious. It says, who are you cheering for in the World Series? I'm cheering for Atlanta. Fuck the Astros.
I was rooting for Pakistan and they won it. So
They
it's
beat
great.
India.
So that's fantastic. That's all you need.
Pakistan's in the bottom.
That's all you need. That's the better baseball.
Papa Hunk says, Jay, who is the best QB in the league?
Right now, Patrick Mahomes.
Dude, what?
No, I'm playing. It's definitely not Patrick Mahomes.
Fuzzy says, Jay, how many rides besides the teacups were you allowed on at Disney today? Those height requirements are pretty strict.
Have you know, I rode every ride I wanted to ride. All right. They just didn't. They didn't let me. They didn't let me on the, what was it? The Indiana Jones one, because while I was there with Fuzzy's mom, there is a weight restriction, and she didn't pass, so I wasn't able to ride that one with her, but I did ride her instead.
Alhamdulillah.
Alhamdulillah.
Hakidar, he says, Habibis, do you want me to show you how to tie a turban?
Yes.
Sir, yes. Do it.
Absolutely.
Need you to make video and post online. You post,
tag
us, we will retweet. You make millions of retweets and make 1,000 good friends.
Inshallah.
Fuzzy is really pissed off by now. Fuzzy's probably also pissed off. He's wondering where K-Hyde is. You'll have to catch her on Fox News at 11 p.m. East, as you'll find her on Gutfeld tonight.
Oh, wow. Amazing.
Yeah.
That's
Blake.
that's
let's see. Oh, Blake by Curious says Chick-fil-A is overrated, mediocre at best. Banned. None of you are free from sin. Zachary says, speaking of Pakistan, to know anything about the Tehreek-e-Lubbaik protests going on in Lahore, several killed, hundreds injured, allegedly. Wow, that's a really heavy question.
That's
and
it's
I
not.
know nothing about.
Yeah, I know. I'm like, it's a really heavy question to ask somebody who knew nothing about. You're gonna text your uncle right now.
And on top of that, also there was the coup going on in Sudan this past week, which was wild that it happened in a day. But there were reports that saying like the people were like fighting against the military for power back to their vote. So who knows? Maybe democracy does prevail in Sudan, but it's a mess right now.
You're fired.
Yes, go away.
Damon Toll says it's not like Siraj ever lived in Lahore and has family there or anything. Yeah, but like a lot of them have left. They're not. A lot of them aren't even in Lahore.
No, they're in Afghanistan.
Yeah, in fact, all of them are Afghanistan. I gotta look this shit up. GLP, wow. Okay.
I'm growing this baby out.
Look at that.
I'm gonna be egghead from Sonic.
Spencer is more prepared than Jay and Siraj. Well, yeah, that's because Spencer's in school and he's studying all the time, and Jay and I are literally just jerking each other off.
That's half of what we do. And also, I was at Disney giving China a lot of my money. I spent a lot of money. That's so expensive over there.
Well,
it's expensive.
I mean, if your money wasn't going to China that way, it was going to China through basically all your mail.
Right, but I mean, driving to Disney was hilarious because you drive down and it is just like homeless people everywhere. Driving up to people looking like they have no hope. Yeah, people looking like they have no hope, that they're ready to just kick the bucket and all that kind of shit. And then you get to Disney, the greatest, happiest place on earth. It's just like getting up to there. It just looks like shit. It's so bad.
Anyways, well, Jay, thanks for popping in here. I think I'm going to sign off here. Next week, we're back, right? In full force?
Yeah, full force. We're back in full force.
Habibi. Yeah, I can't believe. And obviously, our final statement. Please come on HPH, Jen Rubin. Don't stop. Don't stop.
Jen, you could see this live, Jen. Do whatever you want, Jen.
Please, Jen. Please. Anthony says, Jay, how many rides were you unable to ride?
Oh, God damn it. Just 2. Fuck.
Fuzzy says, Jay, you did it last year. What are the chances you'll sing Fuzzy Happy Birthday again this year, like Marilyn?
Well, I mean,
when's Fuzzy's birthday again?
in your mom's asshole, or like just live like this? How would you, do you want to hear it?
Beautiful, just beautiful. Just beautiful. Love it. Fuzzy says Friday. His birthday's Friday, but he'll take it today. Damn right, he'll take it.
Damn right, you're gonna take it.
Yeah, it's all your mom. Well, Habibis, it's such a pleasant surprise that Jay joined in. Maddie dunking on me and a backhanded compliment saying, I miss Jay so much tonight. It's okay, Jay. We're much better together. We are much better together than we are apart. I will say that. I cannot carry a show without you. You're my Habibi bro. I love you.
I love you, Habibi.
Great co-host. And never again are we doing this shit solo. Faye says this sounds more like South Park than Maryland. Actually, it kind of does. So. And
funny enough, when they're doing Kenny's accent, they're doing it through Fuzzy's mom's asshole.
Boom. In your face. Special thanks to Spencer for hopping in here and carrying the show a bit. And despite having no media experience, did a good job.
Yeah,
and also for producing the show. You're fucking fired. Also, Ben Morrissey, thank you as always for maintaining the list and getting that shit in order. You are a great help, and you don't get enough recognition. Also, because you're fucking fired and don't deserve any. Damon says the show sucked tonight. Go fuck yourself, Damon. Go guzzle some mayo and shoot it out your ass.
Yeah, you disgusting person. God,
so
and I eat ass.
Yeah, I know, right? So Habibis, I'm Siraj Hashmi.
I'm Jay Kobbe.
And Spencer behind the boards. Thank you, Spencer. We're the Habibi Bros. We'll see you next week in full capacity. It won't be like hockey where we're one man down. It will be like wrestling where we're both humping the shit out of each other. Inshallah. Good night, Habibis. Love y'all. Mess of them.